All right, here is the speed run of the International Women's Day Excel Esports case. To start with, we'll do a little XLOOKUP here just to look up the names on what they're famous for, right? So bring that in here. And that should do it for level one. This, I got to find a sequence in the middle of this, which works like this, using the mid function and times 1 to turn it into a number. All right, this here, I got to parse this. So let's see, text after a slash, I believe. Yeah, so it's that. So it is this minus the reference rate, which is 31752 according to the instructions. Should be good for level 3. This then is a lookup, right? So what? Concat xlookup string to array of this on here, returning here. All right, close. Is that enough closes? Yeah, that looks right. All right, so here I want to make them all look like this, right? So text join using a comma, just join these guys here. It's an extra argument I gotta worry about. Yeah, like that. So now it is filter this equals something, right? And then what I want is these values here, right? Which is the effectiveness first and then the side effect. Make sure this syntax is correct here. And then I'll put in the value there, right? So this is effectiveness and this is side effect. So the formula is the average, and I don't know how long this is. Could make them into arrays, but I'll just do this instead. Average of the effectiveness minus 0.6 times the average of the side effects. All right, and then round that to 0 decimal places. Let's go for level 5. So now for this one, I'm going to make, because I'm not going to do this as an array. So I'm going to make 101 steps because this goes up to 100, right? So that's just a guide. The step number starts at 0, right? Because you start like in computer science, Ada Lovelace is telling us we got to start at 0, right? So the sequence of this plus 1 starting at 0, right? And then the value, the first value is the starting value, right? So now we'll do a little let formula here. So starting value is here. The step number is here. The previous values are all here, right? So to K $34. I think that's probably enough, right? So we try to go to start minus step, and then the alternative, if we can't go there, is start plus step, right? And then the rules are, so ifs, first off, we're done, right? So if, step equals nothing, then nothing. If the try is less than or equal to 0, then alt. And if exists in the previous, if the try exists in the previous things we visited before, so we use alt. Otherwise, we use try. And then we close the thing and find our last value here, which is you look up the step number on here, not that far down, just that far down. returning on the values, right? And that should be good for level 6. And then level 7, right? We got these castles. So let's say we'll do countries, right? So text split this by space dash space hyphen space. Yeah, there we go. There are countries. I'm going to do the other example. It's a little easier to work with. So those are the countries. The castle we visit is here. Here's the starting castle. Then I want to know about the other castles, right? So is just this stuff, right? So there's the other castles. And then, so this, well, I mean, the distance, right, is label lookup, right, which is just our index match lambda. So label lookup on this whole thing stays locked, right? This castle with the column locked, and this other castle with the row locked, and that's the distances, ideally. Must be B2 to M13. Yeah, so those are the distances, right? But there's some caveats, right? You got to go to a specific country, and we can't revisit, right? So this is going to be distance. I need to know if it is the right country. So it's the right country if the next country here, right, with the column locked, is equal to the country here with the row locked. That's the right country. That'll also tell us when we're done. And then I also need to know if it is visit, because just like Ada Lovelace, Empress Sissy does not go to the same place twice. So visited here is the previous castles like this with this starting, right? So it exists in this array, the new castle we're considering, right? With the row locked. So now what? Ifs, just if. So if it is, it's got to be the right country, and it has to be not visited, right? Not visited. If both of those are true, then give me the distance. Otherwise, give me nothing. Right? Oh, I missed a parentheses and got all these asterisks. Of course, I don't want, but anyway, I need to know how many. I need to know how far to go down also. I think it's 10, but let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Yep. So the guide is sequence 10. Bring this down here, right? And these are in A because I haven't done the castle yet. So the smallest of this returning on here with this 32 is going to stay locked. That tells you what castle to go to. Those can stay errors. It won't hurt anything. And then just the minimum of this is the distance that she traveled. All right, so if I do this and then sum up those distances, I should be right, but it's not right. Let's see here. Did I check for visited correctly? No, I did not check it correctly. That's why, because visited, the K has to be locked in visited. Yep. There we go. Now it's working. All right, yep, that's it for that. That's it for all of them, right? 1,000 points. Do the last one. What's the country here? So is what? Frequency table of the countries, and I can see UK is on top. Then this is like a little code here, right? So equals, mid of the name, that, and then 1. So I take these and uppercase concat this to get celebrating great women. The weight of all the casks, well, the cask weight is right there. So the weight of all of them is the average of this. Times 1, right? It's not a number otherwise. So it's this, but I gotta round it though. So round this to 0 places. Frequency of the DNA inputs, right? So gonna do frequency table of concat the inputs, right? Not the answers, not the examples, but the thing. Frequency table, and I got to string to array to make these individual. And 112 is the most common one. And now we're going to do the sequence 1 to 100 for 1,000, right? So I need 1,001 on the guide. This is going to have 1,000. Starting values is now sequence 100. And then I just want the maximum of this, right? The maximum of everything going down. I only went 100 down, but I got to go all the way down to 1,000. Oh, don't use the mouse wheel like that. That's a bad idea. That's like the worst way to do this. All right. How about this? Control down, and then from there, now I could just fill this like this. Now I've got it, right? Okay. So equals the maximum of this, Control Shift down, and do a column cell input is on the starting values, right? Or no, the column cell input is the starting value, which I'm going to put here, right? Because that is then going to go there, right? So now I make a data table where the column input cell is right there. Okay, and then the maximum of all the maximums is still calculating here. Still calculating. I mean, I assume my computer is a little faster than Ada Lovelace's, but maybe not that much faster. I don't know. All right, there we go. That's it for this this case. Thanks very much. Bye.